Hey, Midwest distributors, this is Sid Patel, CEO of Beverage Trade Network and USATT Trade Tasting. This is a very interesting call, especially if you have been challenged with the non-alcoholic category, maybe with CBD category because of legalities. Here's a perfect solution. I'm sure you all know hemp beverages, right? So don't lose the momentum. Get on the board. These are the people who have done it on East Coast. Learn from them, and they are looking for a partner in Midwest. Highly recommend you listen to this call. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Brian. I am the CEO of Legally Highest. We started this company in 2019. There's been a tad bit of innovation from where we started. Originally, it was a CBD company, and we have innovated our product to introduce our newest lines, which are THC seltzers.
Hey, I'm Paul. I'm one of the sales guys with Legally Highest, and I started with the company around 2020 or so. So we've been helping to kind of grow things out and acquiesce more territory as we go along.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vincent. I go by Vince or Vinny. I'm also on the sales side, also overlook our manufacturing end. I am the youngest guy. I just joined about a year ago, just graduating out of college. And been so far in this last year, we've seen a lot of different growth, just from a CBD drink and a one flavor kind of THC beverage to now a whole line of 8 different SKUs. So, especially in the high market that is New Jersey, it's been very beneficial because of our farm bill that we work off of, is that there's a lot of opportunity in New Jersey because of all the laws. We've seen a lot of growth in this very fast kind of moving market.
Finding buyers. We are on the East Coast, so preferably logistics-wise, we'd like to deal with states that are neighboring, that are permitted. Right as of now, there's about 35 states that we can work with. And then we handle everything from the manufacturing down to the sales. So we kind of have a similar model to, let's say, for example, Coca-Cola. So we handle our distribution channels within New Jersey. That being said, we'd like to incorporate out of state distribution channels.
Yeah, for most of those states, like places like Chicago and such, there's only a few restrictions when it comes to some of those states. But for the most part, when it comes to bringing product in, because it's all the hemp-derived things and because of the federal legality of it, it's all within compliance. Certain areas, like maybe Chicago, the city, might have certain restrictions in different localities, but overall, most of those states will have some sort of regulation that allow it. I believe Chicago, maybe in general, I think actually is one of the states that's still legalized, but some other states have obviously banned it. For example, Colorado. You can't do the hemp-derived Delta-8 or anything of that nature. Same thing with California. So there's a couple of states that do, hunker down on it a little bit, but for the most part, I believe in at least the majority of states.
I just wanted to touch up on that as well. So being that we're able to manufacture and then go from distribution, we have a lot of, wiggle room. So when there are restrictions, let's say, for example, California, there's certain cannabinoids that we can go for that are permitted. So, we're able to tweak our product, and it's, very fluid because we have connections when it comes to the manufacturing side. So all it would take is a little bit of changing of labeling and calculations in our laboratory, and we could to these states. So just because there's some sort of restriction doesn't mean that it's the end. When we talk about THC, all of our beverages are exclusively derived from hemp. We need to stay under the 0.3% threshold of Delta-9 THC. So we're able to work with a lot of liquor stores. It does not require a cannabis license, specifically in New Jersey. And in most states in the United States, there's 35 states that are permitted. And those states, they don't require cannabis licensing. So when it comes to laboratory testing, we make sure that all of our products are under 0.3% of Delta-9 THC. That being said, it's going to get you a very similar effect to, let's say, smoking marijuana. The only difference is that we don't extract the THC from a marijuana plant, we extract it from hemp. We'd like to definitely meet, I think, beer distributors. I think even wine distributors, just because they're very familiar with selling higher end products. There is quite a bit of a pricing difference when it comes to our product. So the margins would be similar to, let's say, selling like a higher end wine. So I think it could be something that they can integrate very well within their portfolio. We do want to announce that we are launching a new product line. So we're going for the tea market. So we're creating an iced THC. That's what we like to call it. It's a little pun on there, but I think this one's going to be a killer for the summer. 60 milligrams in a 16 ounce, and then 30 milligrams in a 12 ounce.
Yeah, so pretty much when you do kind of see our social media, this is actually one of the cans here. This is our newest flavor. It is pineapple. So kind of like what Paul and Brian were mentioning, we do 8 SKUs. So we have 4 flavors with 2 sizes. So we have a thin kind of 12-ounce can that has the 30 milligrams. And then the bigger boys, the 16-ounce can has 60 milligrams. So of course, depending on your tolerance, if you can handle a lot more of that euphoria kind of feeling that you want. And obviously, it's like the edible where it can hit you between 20 minutes or up into an hour and a half, but has that more kind of gradual feeling that everyone's kind of looking for. Whereas, when you have an edible, it can hit you in like 5 minutes and you're stuck on the couch. And what's the fun in that? But something that I really noticed that a lot of people have been giving me feedback is that you have a lot more control over it, in the sense that, hey, like, I don't want to drink the whole thing. I could drink half of it, put it in the fridge, give it to my boyfriend, girlfriend, kind of have a lot more control over it. Whereas the standard edibles, you don't have that kind of control, which can kind of get people a little bit nervous for. So when it's in this kind of drink formation, it's pretty much the more social way to take an edible. As you can see on our social media, we do different kind of commercials with some of the local studios, such as IMP and Rush Studios of Austin Point. And it just kind of shows the social nature of, hey, I want to get high, but I'm not going to roll up a blunt in front of like my parents, right? I'm not going to roll a joint and smell of like that old weed smell and have that kind of bad stigma of, hey, I'm going to get high and that looks really bad. But hey, I can bring a 4-pack of these seltzers, and if alcohol is not my thing, I can also kind of get that high feeling. And what we've noticed, especially in this kind of new market, and now that we're entering 2024, people are kind of stemming away from alcohol and they want to try, new kind of things. And maybe, smoke is not for everybody, but, making a mocktail is. So that's where we definitely kind of seen a lot of success in our social media as well. You'll see different taste testings that we do. We try to hit 1 or 2 each week. We have a big taste testing, of course, this weekend for 420, because that's obviously our biggest holiday. So it just kind of gets into the touch of the people, because at the end of the day, the average person, when they walk into a liquor store, they're not too sure they're going to see a THC product. So that way we're kind of up in the front doing taste testings. We have all the right marketing materials that you will also see on our social media pages. We also have, different kind of ads running as well. We do a lot of partnerships with influencers such as the Polymath Network, in which they have a lineup of different kind of podcasts in which they'll have our drinks on. They'll be drinking it throughout the entire presentation, where our logo is always seen. And for them, they really enjoy our partnership because they can get high while talking on their podcast, which definitely makes it a lot more enjoyable for the viewership as well. So always trying to get into different kind of avenues, always different kind of partnerships. We sponsor the Hot Box in New York City as well, just to kind of get into the eyes of people. Hey, if I want to get high and not smoke a blunt, I can definitely get high in a more kind of cleaner way. So we're always trying to sponsor different kind of events for people that either, hey, I smoke a lot of weed, I'm a stoner, or I just want to kind of get into it. So obviously everyone 21 and up can always partake. And we kind of hit every kind of demographic between, hey, parents that want to get high in a subtle way, or a young college kid that wants to shotgun one of these cans at a party and kind of go crazy. So it definitely is something that branches out for everybody. There's not one specific demographic, and I think that's where we found the most success.